To give Mr. Anderson a little more insight into how I select the artwork that eventually becomes part of our stories, I decided to take him into the Vibe 11.5 art gallery. Now, this isn't your typical gallery. What makes it special is that artists are constantly coming and going. Sometimes they arrive every day, sometimes every week. They bring with them new pieces, new perspectives, and new stories to share with the world. And honestly, there is something almost magical about walking through those gallery doors. The moment you step inside, you're surrounded by some of the most incredible artwork imaginable. Every wall tells a different story. Every piece carries a different emotion. Every artist leaves behind a piece of themselves. One of my favorite parts of the process is sitting down with the artists and listening to the inspiration behind their work. I love hearing what moved them, what challenged them, what hurt them, and what inspired them to create. Some artists work in watercolor, others use oil paints, inks, mixed media, and techniques that are completely their own. No two artists create the same way, and for me, that's the beauty of it. I don't just look at the artwork, I try to connect with it. I try to understand the emotion that lives beneath the surface. Sometimes the pieces are joyful, sometimes they're heartbreaking, sometimes they're inspiring, and sometimes they carry emotions so powerful that they spark feelings of anger, reflection, sadness, or healing. Every piece has something to say. So I wanted Mr. Anderson to experience that for himself. As we walked through the gallery, I watched him carefully. To his credit, I could see that he was trying. I could see him slowing down. I could see him taking in one piece at a time instead of simply glancing at them. As I explained the stories behind the artwork, I noticed moments where something seemed to connect, moments where he genuinely paused and looked deeper. And while I believe there was some connection happening, if I'm being honest, there still seemed to be a hesitation within him. It was almost as if he was holding something back, like there was still another answer he was searching for, another perspective he wanted to find, something he wasn't quite getting from the experience. And that's when I finally looked at him and said, "Listen, Mr. Anderson, however you find your inspiration, however you choose your pieces, that's the path you need to follow." Because at that point, I realized something important. This wasn't about convincing him. It wasn't about proving that my way was the right way. It wasn't about winning an argument. It was simply my final attempt to give him a glimpse into how I see art and how I choose the pieces that speak to me. After that, I made a conscious decision to stay in my own lane, to allow him to develop his own creative process, his own perspective, his own lane when it comes to art. Because the purpose of this collaboration was never to go to war over creative differences. The purpose was to work together, to learn from one another, and ultimately to create meaningful stories that help the artwork speak for itself.